Good morning, Theory 1. We are going to be talking about lesson 6 today, and that is on time signatures. And then before we get to time signatures, let's start with some bar lines. So we divide the staff. Remember, the staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces. And at the very beginning of each staff, on the left side, we write the clef. So I'll draw a treble clef here. And next to the clef is the time signature. It's 2 numbers stacked on top of each other. It looks like a fraction without the line in the middle. Or you could just think of the middle line as maybe the line for the fraction. The top number of the time signature tells us how many beats are in every measure. So in 4/4, there are going to be 4 beats in every measure. Now, what's a measure? Let's talk about that. So we divide the music into groups. It almost makes it look like a box. And we take a vertical line and go from line 5 to line 1. This is called a bar line. Here's another bar line. The space in between the bar lines is called a measure. We're going to make sure that there are 4 beats in each measure. So it looks like a box, but we don't call it a box. It's a measure. And these are bar lines. You want to make sure that your bar line doesn't go above the staff or below the staff. So it needs to stop on line 1 and line 5, but it needs to touch both of them. It's almost like a pillar holding them up. At the very end of a piece, you're going to have a thin line and a thick line. And when you see a thin line and a thick line, you know that that is the end of the song, and it's called a double bar line. There's 2 of them. A double bar line shows you the end of a piece. On the very top of your page, you're going to be tracing the dots and creating the bar lines. Draw the bar lines, and then that makes the measures, and then you have the double bar line at the end. Now, then you're going to do it on the next one. Now let's talk about what goes in the measures. Okay? So we have 4 beats in each measure. Now the bottom number of the time signature, this is where a lot of people when I ask my students, what does the bottom number mean? I get a lot of and guesses, okay? So I'm going to tell you. The bottom number tells us what kind of note gets 1 beat. So is it a half note, a whole note? Does a whole note get 1 beat? Or does a half note get 1 beat? No, it's a quarter note. A 4 on the bottom. My pen died. A 4 on the bottom means that the quarter note gets 1 beat. Okay, think of it like you were you're going to cook with your mom. So I made some banana bread today. And in the recipe, it called for 1/4 of a cup. It called for 1 1/4 cups of sugar, but 1/4. Another way we can say this fraction is 1/4 of a cup. Okay? And a quarter, so that's where we get that 4 means a quarter. Okay? So 4 on the bottom means the quarter note gets 1 beat. Can you say that with me? A 4 on the bottom means the quarter note gets 1 beat. Say it again. A 4 on the bottom means the quarter note gets 1 beat. So that means that there are going to be 4 quarter notes in every measure. But we don't always want to play quarter notes, do we? 1, 1, 1, 1. It also could mean that there's 4 quarter notes worth of beats in every measure. How many beats does the whole note get? It gets 4. So that means that it finishes the measure. There's 4 quarter notes worth of beats in here. Another measure could have a half note, and a half note. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So that finishes a measure. Okay? So we also could change that top number. Maybe it will say, I need to just get another pen. Let's switch. 2 and 4. So 2, 4 time signature. There's going to be 2 quarter notes in every measure. 1, 2, bar line. A half note. How many beats does a half note get? It gets 2. So then I draw a bar line. Can I have a whole note in a measure in 2, 4? Nope, it gets too many beats. Can I have a dotted half note in a measure that's 2, 4? Nope, it's too many beats too. Okay? So in 2, 4, you can only have 2 quarter notes worth in every measure. What if I had 5, 4? Then I could have 2, 3, 4, 5, bar line. Now I have a whole note. How many does a whole note get? Well, I still need one more beat. So I can draw a quarter note here. 4 plus 1 is 5. So now I need a bar line. On your worksheet today, you're going to see on the bottom of the page, I show you 6, 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4. And I've circled all of the bottom numbers. Remember that bottom 4 means that a quarter note gets 1 beat. And you could also, it would be helpful if we wrote it with 6 and then a quarter note, but we write it with the number. That number, you just have to know that the bottom number means that it's a quarter note when it's a 4. On the next page, I give you measures, and there are numbers of quarter notes. Count the number of quarter notes and then put that number in the blank at the top of the measure of the time signature, so that you know the first one would be count it 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first one is 4, 4, and then you would fill in the blank for each of the other measures. Then in number 4, it's not just quarter notes. So now you have to add up all of the notes in that measure and then write the number at the top to discover what the top number of the time signature is. Then we have 2 new dynamic signs this week. So MF means medium loud. It's a little softer than loud, and we say it mezzo. We don't say mezzo. In Italian, we say those Z's as ts, mezzo forte. And then we have mezzo piano. Mezzo forte is a little softer than loud, and mezzo piano is a little louder than piano. So in the boxes on the bottom of your page, where it says loudest, write the loudest dynamic sign that you know that we've learned so far, and then write the softest. So whether it's, and then I give you the options, forte piano, mezzo forte, and mezzo piano. Write them in order from loudest to softest. That's it for this week, and I'll see you guys next week.